And the last thing, as everyone well knows, the school buses have been late for 3 years, and finally the school committee intervened and took over the busing operation. The city side is responsible, or was responsible, for the school bus contract. So they take full responsibility for managing that contract and making sure it works. So here's the thing. The school buses were late. Why was that? Well, we had bus drivers who were paid $29 an hour when the market rate was $34. Now, what was Marlborough paying next door? $34, same bus company. So all the bus drivers went over and drove buses for Marlborough. They didn't have a late bus problem at all. So we did. And so even then, in talking about buses, the mayor had an opportunity a couple of years ago, and NRT came to a school committee meeting and said, look, for $500,000 additional in the contract a year, we'd raise the bus driver pay to $34. Well, the mayor just ignored that. That was a really great way to have solved the problem at low cost. But instead, remarkably, a couple of months later, the mayor went and renegotiated the whole contract. Didn't do that $500,000 adjustment to solve the problem. He renegotiated the entire contract, and that ended up costing the city $1.8 million more, not the $500,000 that NRT had offered, $1.8 million more, and the bus driver pay only went from 29 to 31. The most remarkable thing about that was NRT actually offered $32.50 to drivers, but the city knocked that down to 31, even though the school committee wanted 34. So the mayor had no idea what was going on with the school committee and negotiated a very tiny increase for drivers, which consequently, at 1.3 million more than the $500,000 that NRT had offered. And so we ended up paying a lot more money and not solving the problem. That's terrible management and very bad fiscal policy for the mayor. And then remarkably, this was negotiated in something like August. And then in September, on September the 6th actually, in a city council meeting a couple of years ago, he claimed that the bus drivers were paid $34 an hour. Well, no one in the council apparently knew that that was not the case. So I pointed it out, and 6 weeks later he retracted and said, oh, I got that wrong. So it shows that he had actually no close connection to the negotiations, didn't know what was going on with the school buses, and any claim, as he has in this thing, to have helped lead the city's response to prevent a school bus strike just hours before drivers walked out is completely irrelevant. These are irrelevant, 6 irrelevant facts here.